Jai. Jai Saparikar Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pari Bhajakacharya Astatar Sati Shri Śrīman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pari Bhajakacharya Astatar Sati Shri Śrīman Srila Bhakti Rakok Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai. Welcome to Śrī Chaitanya Saraswat Mission morning class. Dhanyavad. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangsha Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Rivo. Continuing with the 16th chapter of Antya Lila Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta, the Lord Tastes Nectar. So we're just hearing about this and trying to become purified. Text 127. Jai Jai Śrī Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Śrī Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Text 127. Adaramrita Nija Sware Sanchariya Sebale Akarshaya Trijagata Jana Amara Dharma Vayakari Rahi Jadi Darya Dari Tabe Amayakare Vidambana. The nectar of Krishna's lips combined with the vibration of his flute attracts all the people of the three worlds. But if we Gopīs remain patient out of respect for religious principles, the flute then criticizes us. So we're hearing in the previous verses that the flute is criticizing the Gopīs for being religious and patient. Thereupon the flute said angrily to me, "Give up your shame, fear, and religion, and come drink the lips of Krishna. On that condition I shall give up my attachment for them. Then I'll give up my attachment for them. If you do not give up your shame and fear, however, I shall continuously drink the nectar of Krishna's lips. I am slightly fearful because you also have the right to drink that nectar. But as for the others, I consider them like straw." Divine attitude. But before that, we were hearing, and this is all in the context of tasting the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath, which has been touched by the lips of the Lord, and which is so fragrant, so tasteful, and so divinely nectarean. So we are keeping everything on that understanding and going from that understanding, always in a sober mood. Nivikasaya guru age lajja dharma karaye tyage keshe dharil jaina lanya jai anikaraya tomara dasi shuni loka kare hasi E mata nari re nachai. The nectar of your lips and the vibration of your flute join together to loosen our belts and induce us to give up shame and religion, even before our superiors. As if catching us by our hair, they forcibly take us away and deliver us unto you to become your maid servants. Hearing of these incidents, people laugh at us. We have thus become completely subordinate to the flute.
Why people laugh at that?
What?
Why people laugh?
Well, they're not acting properly. They're misbehaving. They're not proper. They've become Shushka Panchera Latikana Etakare Apamana Eda Shakari Lagosai Na Sahiki Karite Pari Tahe Rahimauna Dhari Chorara Makedaki Kandite Nai. The flute is nothing but a dry stick of bamboo, but it becomes our master and insults us in so many ways that it forces us into a predicament. What can we do but tolerate it? The mother of a thief cannot cry loudly for justice when the thief is punished. Therefore, we must remain silent. The mother of a thief cannot cry loudly for justice when the thief is punished. Therefore, we simply remain silent. Adarera eriti arashuna kuniti se adarashane yara mela se bhaksya bhojapana haya amrita samana namatara haya Krishna Pela. Such is the policy of these lips. Just consider some other injustices. Everything that touches those lips, including food, drink, or betel, becomes just like nectar. It is then called Krishna Pela, or the remnants left by Krishna. Pelare ekalavana paya devata shaba edambe keva patiyai bahu janma punyakare tabe Sukṛti namadare se Sukṛti tara lavapai. Even after much prayer, the demigods themselves cannot obtain even a portion of the remnants of such food. Just imagine the pride of those remnants. Only a person who has acted piously for many, many births has thus become a devotee, can obtain the remnants of such food. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj prefaces this by describing piety as meaning Sukṛti, not ordinary piety.
I wonder what is the Vandana word used?
Sukṛti. And he defines Sukṛti as piety in relation with the Lord. So there's a Gyata Sukṛti, which means something that we have come in touch with the Vaishnava, something divine, that we've come in touch with Krishna. Somehow we don't even know it. And that's always the beginning. Krishna Jaikaya Tambula Kahitara Nahimula Tahe Aradamba Paripati Tara Jeva Udgarak Tare Kaya Mritta Shara Gopira Mukhikare Alabati. The betel chewed by Krishna is priceless, and the remnants of such chewed betel from his mouth are said to be the essence of nectar. When the gopis accept these remnants, their mouths become his spittoons. E Shavatomara Kutinati Chara E Paripati Benu Dvare Kahe Harapran Apanara Hashilagi Naha Narira Vadabagi Deha Nijadaramrita Dana. Therefore, my dear Krishna, please give up all tricks you have set up so expertly. Do not try to kill the life of the gopis with the vibration of your flute. Because of your joking and laughing, you are becoming responsible for the killing of women. It would be better for you to satisfy us by giving us the charity of the nectar of your lips. So these are parts of the Chaitanya Charitāmṛta that we just read and we don't really comment on. The only comment is how these things are aprakṛta, and to keep that in mind. Even the piety that is found even in this world is just a nice feeling, very nicer feeling. The religious feeling that sometimes we've had, when we were children or something. And this is so much more than that, so much higher, purer, more divine, more sanctified, more absolutely innocent, actually. So we're keeping all these things on our heads because we are not innocent ourselves. Kahite Prabhu Ramana Pirigela Kroda Angsha Shanta Haila Utkanta Badila. While Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking like this, his mind changed, his anger subsided, but his mental agitation increased. Parama Durlabha E Krishna Dharamrita Tahaje Payatara Sapala Jivita. Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, this nectar from Krishna's lips is supremely difficult to obtain. But if one gets some, his life becomes successful. Sapala. Sapala with fruit. Yogya hanya keha karite napaya pana tatapi se nirlajja vritta dare prana. When a person competent to drink that nectar does not do so, that shameless person continues his life uselessly. When a person competent to drink that nectar does not do so, that shameless person continues his life uselessly. Excuse me. Huh? I'm not sure who he's referring to, but he may be referring to himself. He's thinking, I'm not drinking this, or I don't know that. But sometimes that sentiment is expressed by the Lord and the devotees. But I don't know. Ayogya hanya taha keha sadapannakare yogya jana nahi pai lobe matramare. There are persons who are unfit to drink that nectar, but who nevertheless drink it continuously, whereas some who are suitable never get it and thus die of greed. Lolium, probably. Lolium. Lobe, out of greed. Tate jani kona tapasyara ache bala ayogyere deoyaya Krishna dharmamrita bala. It is therefore to be understood that such an unfit person must have obtained the nectar of Krishna's lips on the strength of some austerity. Kaharama raya kichu shunite hayamana bhavajane paderai gopira vachana. Again, Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Rāmānanda Rāy, please say something. I want to hear. Understanding the situation, Rāmānanda Rāy recited the following words of the Gopīs. Gopya kim acharadayam kushalam smavenur Damodaradara Shuddhamapi Gopikanam Bhunkte Swayam Jadavashishtarasam Hradinyo Hrisyatvacho Shrumumuchustaravo Yatarya. My dear Gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us Gopis, for whom that nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. This verse, quoted from the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10th canto, is part of a discussion the Gopis had among themselves. As the autumn season began in Vrindavan, Lord Krishna was tending the cows and blowing on his flute. The Gopis then began to praise Krishna and discuss the fortunate position of his flute. Hey shloka shuni prabhu bhava vishtahanya utkantate artakare pralapa kariya. Upon hearing the recitation of this verse, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu became absorbed in ecstatic love, and with greatly agitated mind, he began to explain its meaning like a madman. Eho Brajendra Nandana Brajera Kona Kanyagana Avasya Kariba Parinai Se Sambande Gopikana Jare Mane Nijadana Se Shuddha Anyera Labhyanai. Some gopis said to other gopis, "Just see the astonishing pastimes of Krishna, the son of Brajendra. He will certainly marry all the gopis of Vrindavan. Therefore the gopis know for certain that the nectar of Krishna's lips is their own property and cannot be enjoyed by anyone else." Gopigana kaha shabakariya vichare kontita kontapa konsiddha mantra japa ebe nukaila janmantare. My dear Gopis, fully consider how many pious activities this flute performed in his past life. We do not know what places of pilgrimage he visited, what austerities he performed, or what perfect mantra he chanted. Hana Krishna Dara Shuddha Jaikailamrita Muddha Jara Ashaya Gopi Dare Pran Evinu Ayogya Ati Stavara Purusha Jati She Shuddha Sadakare Pan. This flute is utterly unfit because it is merely a dead bamboo stick. However, it belongs to the male sex, yet this flute is always drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips, which surpass nectarean sweetness of every description. Only by hoping for that nectar do the gopis continue to live. So he seems quite unqualified. But still, he is receiving the nectar of, I'm not going to try to explain, but from, anyway. Jaradana nakahe tare, panakare balatkare, pite tare dakiya janaya, tara tapasyara pala, deka ihara bhagya bala, ihara uchishta mahajane kai. Although the nectar of Krishna's lips is the absolute property of the gopis, the flute, which is just an insignificant stick, is forcibly drinking that nectar. I see. So who is fit is not getting it, meaning the gopis, and who is unfit is getting it, meaning the flute. So that's what they're saying. Although the nectar of Krishna's lips is the absolute property of the Gopīs, the flute, which is just an insignificant stick, is forcibly drinking that nectar and loudly inviting the Gopīs to come drink it also. Just imagine the strength of the flute's austerities and good fortune. Even great devotees drink the nectar of Krishna's lips after the flute has done so. Manasa Ganga Kalindi Bhuvana Pavani Nadi Krishna Jaditate Kare Snan Benura Jutadara Rasa Hanyalobe Paravasha Sekaleha Shekare Pan. When Krishna takes his bath in universally purifying waters like the Jamuna and the Ganges of the celestial world, the great personalities of those rivers greedily and jubilantly drink the remnants of the nectarean juice from his lips. Etanari rahudure, meaning he's rinsing his mouth, also taking bath. It seems like that means that. Etanari rahudure vriksha shabatara tire tapakare para upakari nadira sheshara sapanya mula dware akashiya kene piye bujitena pari. Aside from the rivers, the trees standing on the banks like great ascetics, engaging in welfare activities for all living entities, drink the nectar of Krishna's lips by drawing water from the river with their roots. We cannot understand why they drink like that. Nichan kure pulakita pushpe hasya vikashita marumishe vahe ashudara benure mani nija jate aryera jena putra nati Vaishnava Līlā Vikara. The trees on the bank of the Jamuna and Ganges are always jubilant. They appear to be smiling with their flowers and are shedding tears in the form of flowing honey. Just as the forefathers of a Vaishnava son or grandson feel transcendental bliss, the trees feel blissful, because the flute is a member of their family. Benura tapa jani jabe se tapa kari tabe e ayogya amara yogya nari jana panya duke mari ayogya piye sahite nari tahalagi tapasya vichari. The Gopis considered, the flute is completely unfit for his position. We want to know what kind of austerities the flute executed, so that we may also perform the same austerities. Although the flute is unfit, he is drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips. Seeing this, we qualified Gopis are dying of unhappiness. Therefore, we must consider the austerities the flute underwent in his past life. Eteka pralapakari prema veshe gaura hari shangelanya swarupa Rama Rāy kabunache kabugai bhava veshe murchal jai e rupe ratri dina jai. While speaking like a madman, Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu became full of ecstatic emotion. In the company of his two friends, Swarup Damodar Goswami and Rāmānanda Rāy, he sometimes danced, sometimes sang, sometimes became unconscious in ecstatic love. Śrī Chaitanya Mahāprabhu passed his days and nights in this way. After leaving the temple yesterday, I was hearing a part of a class of or a talk of Guru Maharaj in my car, and he was saying that we should never think that we have connection with that plane of the Gopis in any way, and what to speak of Radharani. And the the words that he said it is very touching. The pastimes there are very touching, but we cannot enter that high sweetness. It is all sweetness, very gentle and very heart-melting. But we cannot enter that with the heart we have. And he's saying, therefore, do your duty. Just do your duty. And do it nicely. And if that plane recognizes something about you, then that will come of their accord. Not that we are trying to reach up to that plane. That will be offense, he said. That will be offense.
Also, isn't it that jivas were just different, that energy?
Yes. Yes.
So
that is true.
Only if that energy wants kind of invite you there, then you can rather
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, there may be some service there by the grace of Mahaprabhu sometime. But we're not in a rush. That will be our downfall. And Haridev asked a very good question yesterday about that. Very good question. That we are not... what was that? I had it in my head a minute ago. That question that you asked about, we will be... If we think, I have got this, then we're finished. If I've got this, I've got it, then we're finished. It is not that type of thing that we get, that we're going to have. We're going to have this thing. It's not that kind of thing. It is always separation, not getting. So we are gradually coming into an atmosphere which is entirely different from anything we've ever known. And very gradually, Guru Maharaj said, and I keep quoting this because I feel like it's so significant. He said that to be rid of even one layer of ego may take many lifetimes. That's fine. We've got our work cut out for us. We're not cowards or cheaters that we're going to pretend that we've got something that is insanely beyond our capability, our qualification at all. But we are worshipping Rāga. We're worshipping that and doing our duty. That pujala Rāgapata Gauravabang Mattalahari Jana Kirtana Range. And we're worshipping that. And we're hearing about it. But by hearing about it, suddenly all of our mundane emotions become spiritual. That's Sahajism. All this whooping and wonking and all the stuff that we do in the material world because we hear a certain kind of music or whatever it is, which is forbidden in Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. All this wonky music that makes us all emotional. We're not doing that in our kirtan because it creates emotions that are not, they have nothing to do with spiritual life. So we're really sober. And if any insobriety will come in us, we are begging the Lord, make sure to please kill that immediately. So, there may be something like, there may be different reasons for doing musical things. That may be a part of our life, but we're not confusing the emotions that come from emotive music with spiritual emotion. That is going to be devastating to our progress. So, we're hearing all these things, and Srila Guru Maharaj says these portions of the Chaitanya Charitāmṛta, and what to speak of the other books which were written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, like Govinda Līlāmṛta That is a book we don't even read. We've never gotten any entrance in, or that book has not been given to us by our Gurudev. Those are the Astakaliya Līlā of the Lord. We're not reading from that book. So, etc. These are all important matters. We're happy to be soberly doing our duty, and that's that. And we're taking the remnants of the Lord. We're not even taking any flowers that are not offered to the Lord and using them for ourselves. We're not doing anything like that. Everything is being offered to the Lord, and we're taking those remnants. Swarup Rupa Sanatana Raghunatera Sri Charana Shiridari Karijara Asha Chaitanya Charitāmṛta Amrita Haite Paramrita Gayadina Hina Krishna Das. Expecting the mercy of Swarup, Rupa, Sanatan and Raghunath Das, and taking their lotus feet on my head, I, the most fallen Krishna Das, continue chanting the epic Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta, which is sweeter than the nectar of transcendental bliss. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta Antya Lila 16th chapter, describing the nectar flowing from Sri Krishna's lotus lips. And so this kind of subject has come up recently in the temple, and that's why I'm speaking about it a little bit more. Because we have to follow Srila Guru Maharaj's standard in Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mad, very sober. Not hasty at all. If you don't know where you are on the map is useless. But what a life. So nice of a life that we get to do our duty in front of the holy lotus feet of our Gurudev, and live this nice life where we're trying to become cleansed of all this cheating and nonsense. But you can't even recognize how much we're cheating. At least in my case. I'm almost surprised when something becomes like, oh, wow, that was really dishonest. And I didn't even know that it was. Now, Krishna knows how to show us these things. Do you have one of these? Do we have some more of these?
We do. What is the meaning of
Indulekha is one of the... It's a name of one of the Braja Gopīs, but Indu means moon. Moon. Oh, wound. One who has no wound. So we're Jai. Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta ki Jai. Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj ki Jai. Śrīla Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And now coming again to Śrī Upadeśāmṛta. Jai Śrīla Rupa Goswami ki Jai. And Śrīla Rupa Goswami has given these types of books. But he's also given some high books that we are absolutely not allowed to read. They're not, we have no qualification to read them. But he's also given these kind of books that are they're going from the lowest point to the highest point, but in a general way for our understanding. Vacho Vegam. Okay, you're a good memorizer. So we have a little competition going on with memorizing Upadeśāmṛta. So far, I seem to be a little bit ahead. Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udarupasta Vegam Etan Vegam Yo Vishaheta Dira sarvam apimam prithivim sasisyat. These are the 6 urges. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangaschaloyam cha sadbir bhakti vinashyati. So these are the 6 things which destroy devotion. Utsaha nishchayadharya tatat karma pravartana sangatyagat sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasidyati. And these are the 6 things which nourish devotion. Yes. Tadati pratagrahnati guhyam makyati pritchati bhunkte bojayate chaiva sadvidham pritilakshanam. And these are the 6 exchanges of the devotees, 6 characteristics of love. Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati bischa bhajantamisham shushushaya bhajana vigyam mananyamanya nindadi shunya hridamipshita shangalabdya. It's our relationship with different persons who are chanting the holy name on different levels. Drishtai shabhava janiter vapushascha dosher na prakrtatvam iha jana iha bhakta janasya pasyet gangam vasam nakula budbudapena panker nakalu gangam vasana kalu budbudapena panker brahmadravatvam apagachati niradharmai. Comparing the characteristics of a devotee to be like the characteristics of the Ganga. Maybe externally something is there, seeming fault, but internally perfect, of great devotees. Sya Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pito patapta rasanasya narochikanu kinvadaradhanudinam kalu saiva drishta sadvikramad bhavati tad gadambulahantri. And the sugar cane of Krishna's name will gradually destroy the jaundice-like ignorance, and then we become qualified to taste that name. Tannama rupa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasana manasi niyojya tishtan bhajetadhanuragi jaganugami kalam nayedakilam ityupadeshasaram. And the essence of instruction. Vaikuntaj janito varamadupuri tatrapi narasotsavad vrindaranyam uttarapani ramanat tatrapi govardhanaha radha kundamihapiko kulapate premamrita plavanat kuryadasya virajito giritate sevam vivekinakaha. And this is a description, Haridev, of the gradation of
planes of consciousness.
Yes. And Guru Maharaj is saying, you could say place, Vaikuntha to Mathura to Lalada. And then number 10. Karimya parito hare priyataya vyaktimya yugyaninas tebhyo gyane vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastataha tebhyasta pashupala pankacha dushastabhyopi saradika preshta tadvimiyam tadiya sharashi tam nashraye kakriti. More dear to Krishna in all respects than performers of pious deeds are the knowers of Brahman. More dear than those are devotees completely free from knowledge of Brahman. More dear than those are devotees fixed exclusively in divine love. And more dear than those are the Gopīs. And more dear than them is Śrī Radhika. Her lake is similarly dear to Krishna. What fortunate soul would not take shelter there? All right, so we're continuing to read about this. Haribol. Page 253 in this book, the last paragraph. And this is again verse number 10. All right. Srila Guru Maharaj Jai, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. When I came out of college, I strictly observed the principle of Bhagavad Gita for some time. I resolved that I must speak the truth and always speak the truth, regardless of whatever danger may come to me. Blindly, I must do whatever I consider in this way to be my duty, without caring for any effect that may befall me. My courage began to increase. I got Himalayan courage. And I saw that the whole world was like a ball of clay in my hand. It was nothing. I came into consciousness of such a high force within the universe that this earth became like a ball in my hand. I felt it myself. This is Nishkam Karma Yoga. I may face any danger at any moment, so I must be apathetic to such a great degree that I can perform every action, knowing I may have to face death if I am to do my duty rightly. Any danger may come, and I must not care for that. Right. The soul must take a very high position. Then the atmosphere will be changed, meaning he will come to a higher atmosphere. A diametrical change, a revolutionary change will take place in the heart. We won't care for anything, only duty. And how to understand our duty? That is given by the scripture. As much as we can understand it with our reason and conscience, we shall do that without caring for anything else in the world. Popularity, popular opinion, pratishta, money, or any other valuable thing of this world. All are down below. All of those are below. Our whole concentration will only be on our duty, our sense of duty. All else will vanish if we strictly follow this principle of karma yoga. So this is the beginning of Gita. Do your duty. Don't care about anything else. Just do your duty. And this is very nice. And I keep thinking about certain things that Guru Maharaj has said about this. And it's very, very liberating to follow it if we can. And gradually, by remembering these instructions, our mind may wander into a different, its normal course. But then we remember again and correct that. And one of those big instructions, I've repeated it so many times, but it is such a powerful instruction. Guru Maharaj said, do not do anything to attract anyone to you. Never let that be a motive at all. And that is so liberating, even though it may be a long time before I can, or I personally, I'm trying to do this, can follow this perfectly. But it is something to really strive for. It is so liberating. And in the case of Guru Maharaj, he said, I never told a lie anymore. Whatever may come, it's my duty to tell the truth, so I will do my duty. And he said it felt like the whole world was nothing. Disappeared like a little thing. Isn't that wonderful?
Then Gurudev would tell a little bit of
Yeah, on the positive side. Yeah.
When tax collectors or somebody would come, he would say, you just stay in the room and I will talk to them. Because Guru Maharaj couldn't tell a lie, but Gurudev can. Do something like that.
Yeah. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palaheturbur ma te sangostva karmani. Don't stop activity, but do your duty, careless of any result that may face you. We can hold a great position by strictly following this principle. We will not care for any of the forces of nature. The whole world may go to one side, and we will go single-handedly to the other. This is karma yoga. Now this is the beginning of Gita. Okay. Mr. Gandhi followed this to a certain extent, but his objective was different. The political freedom of a limited group was his aim, but his policy was that at every moment, without doing any harm to anyone, he wanted to follow whatever his inner voice said. He stood by the side of his inner voice always, neglecting popular opinion and all. But his objective was not very high, according to us. Mere political emancipation for a political group, that is a small object. So he had a good means, but for a limited end. The highest end is Krishna, according to us, according to Mahaprabhu. In Śrī Chaitanya Charitāmṛta, Mahaprabhu asked Śrī Rāmānanda about sadhya sadhana tattva. What is our destination and how can we attain it? Please explain these things. Rāmānanda Rāy first answered with the conception of Varnashram Dharma. My glasses, I need new glasses. Varnashramachara vata purushena parapuman Vishnu arajate panta nanyatato shakaranam. By faithfully discharging our swadharma, the respective duties that are given to us within Varnashram Dharma, the duties of the Varnas, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and the ashrams, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, we can go forward. It's a very wonderful thing because they automatically understood that our birth is for a reason and that the duties given according to that birth will promote us. Whatever birth we have, was necessary for us in the Varnashram system. And, I mean, that assumption is automatically there. It's not like you're born in a family for no reason. You had a reason, that's where you got born, and these duties are for you who have this type of birth. It's very interesting. And then, of course, there's also one's nature. When we do these imperative duties that come to us simply as our duty and not for any specified purpose, then that is karma yoga. The basis of this is that everyone is guided by the understanding that spirit is above matter, that neglecting matter and appreciating spirit, soul, consciousness is in our best interest. This is done systematically in a group by observing Varnashram Dharma. Just as the Army, Navy, and Air Force work together in an organized way, so Varnashram Dharma is the march of a nation, a mass movement from nescience to science, from matter towards spirit. The march of a nation, a mass movement from nescience to science, from matter towards spirit. So this was the first answer of Rāmānanda Rāy. And then Mahaprabhu Śrī Chaitanya Dev told Rāmānanda, Eho Bahya, Age Kaha'ar. This is also superficial. Go deeper. Oh, was that the first answer? No, I forget. Rāmānanda replied, Krishna karmarpana sarva sadyasar. Whatever you do, offer it to him. This is called karma mishra bhakti. Observing our duties within Varnashram Dharma has only an indirect relation with Narayan. If we directly and consciously offer our karma to Narayan, then our life will be more successful. So that Varnashram is indirect, and this is more direct. Yat karoshi yadasnasi yajjuhosi dadasi yat tapasya sikonteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, try to offer it to me for my satisfaction, and you will make progress gradually. Again, Mahaprabhu said, Eho Bahya. This is also superficial. Go deeper. Even that which is considered to be pure from the standard of this world is impure when it is considered from the nirguna conception of those that work in obedience to the inspiration of Krishna. We are to do anything and everything as we have received the order of the higher. That is service. In the beginning, whatever we do is according to our mental calculation of loss and gain. And then, in some way, we try to connect it with God consciousness. Connecting mundane activity with God consciousness is Krishna karmarpana. Knowing fully well that both good or bad, according to mundane consideration, are wholly wrong, to pray for direction from the upper and then act accordingly will be a higher stage. It's more direct. Indirectly, we do everything with God consciousness in mind, and directly offering everything to Him is a higher stage. Dvaite badra badra jnana shabamano dharma e bala e manda e shaba brahma. Amidst duality, material existence, all notions of good and bad are functions of the mind. This is good, this is bad. Both are misunderstanding. Both good dreams and bad dreams are false. I'll stop here because this is an analogy which is coming. Any questions about any of this? It's like the relative and the absolute. They can go side by side for some time, but when the absolute and the relative comes in clash with the relative, then the relative must retire. But this is an ongoing process. And it's almost sometimes feels like you're on a tightrope. You don't want to go too far this side or too far that side. So we have to always be trying to be in the mood of surrender and trying to hear what is to be done under every circumstance. Because there are so many things that we are hearing. Some are on the absolute platform, some are on the relative platform. And both of those things are important in the sense of our gradual progress. But we're always keeping the absolute in mind. Otherwise, we just stumble along and we don't remember what we're doing. So we've got that northern star, that pole star, which is not moving. And we are, even though we are moving this way and that way in the ship, we are keeping our goal in our heart and trying to understand how, in all the different circumstances that come to our, sometimes they really rock the boat. We think that we are on a very good course, and then something comes to throw us off a little bit, and then we have to bow down to Gurudev. We think that you have come to act as captain of the ship, which desires is the prayer that the sages said to Sutta Goswami. And so we are trying to, they said to Sukadeva Goswami. So we are trying to bow down to the captain and then adjust our duty according to the new course. Because it is becoming refined, actually. And we have to adjust to that refinement. And not think, oh, no, this is bad. No, this is bad. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to know this. I don't know. But we have to adjust. Adjust to the actually favorable breeze, which seemed to knock us off course a little bit. But is actually favorable. And to bow down, because it is so subtle, and it is really adjusting us in a way that we couldn't adjust ourselves. We don't have that subtlety. But the Lord, of course, knows it. So, going from one plane to another plane to another plane. This is a very, very fine and subtle adjustment. And, we are fully dependent, 100% dependent for that progress. The problem with Gyan is that it's I know. Gyan is I know. I want to know everything. I'm going to get everything and put it in my pocket. And Guru Maharaj said that is the opposite of approaching the infinite. The infinite is whimsical and reckless. How are you going to know? How are you going to put that within the... I think it was Goswami who said the skull-sized kingdom. Jai Śrī Upadeśāmṛta ki Jai, Śrī Rupa Goswami ki Jai, Śrīla Om Vishnupad Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhare Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Gurudev ki Jai, Kol Kartam ki Jai. Haribo. Any question? Huh? Jai. What? Hari Hari Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Śrīmadhusudan Girirari Gopinath Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Jai Saparikashi Shri Guru Gaurachandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Astaterasa Shri Śrīman Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacarya Astaterasa Shri Śrīman Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Laharidas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Shamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Śrīman Mahāprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. I already said that. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. Tadya Sakama Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol Jai. Śrīmati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. And tomorrow, noon program for Lalita Saptami Ki Jai. We hope that we will have the divine company of all of you for that. And Jai. Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev Ki Jai.
All the nine devotees. Haribol.
Haribol.
Hugh is asking about the cocktail.
Oh, it's on its way.
It's on its way. It's on its way, Hugh. Don't you worry. It's on its way. Haribol.
Haribol.
Lavanya Devi.
Can I remind the kitchen devotees not to